The West likes to point the finger at Putin for being the aggressor, the madman, Adolf Hitler reincarnated. But the thing is, before the mid-2000s, there was no evidence Putin ever really hated the US. Back when he was still deputy mayor of St. Petersburg, he was even known for helping US businesses settle contract disputes with Russians. He was fascinated with the ex-Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, and there's no record of any of the anti-American stuff he's saying now, although he was in the KGB. And back in the early 2000s, Putin did everything he could to give America the benefit of the doubts. As soon as Putin was elected, he asked to join NATO.
The year 2000, Mr. Putin is not elected, although elected, to the presidency. And one of the first things he does is to ask for Russia to become a member of NATO. Why not be a member of NATO? NATO was created to defend Europe, and perhaps not only Europe, from Soviet aggression, from a country that you couldn't predict. There is no more Soviet Union, and there is no more Warsaw Pact. Why can't we create an organization where we're part of it, said Mr. Putin, and act together to protect some kind of aggression? He was told, go take a walk, basically. What about some kind of partnership or becoming part of the European Union? And he said, no, you're too big. Your country's too big. You can't.
Then when 9/11 happened, he offered his country's expertise on Afghanistan to help fight the war on terror.
As soon as 9/11 happens, calls up Bush Jr., W., and offers his help. And yes, and does help in Afghanistan. And if you want to have your soldiers, your military people in Central Asia, right on our borders, be my guest. And in Georgia, absolutely. So it's not just words. We want to fight terrorism together.
Every attempt Russia and Putin made to work with the US was met with scoff. The US broke its promises, and Putin had had enough.
And all the while, Russia was being reminded that it's no longer really that important a country. Now, one of the things you must keep in mind is that much like the Americans, the Russians believe that they have a mission, that their country was selected by destiny. So the sense of losing this aura of greatness, of being told, we don't care about you. The reaction of the average Russian to that was one of, you're insulting me. You don't respect me. In 2007, in Munich, speaking to the group of 20 in Munich, Putin says this. This is February 10th. I think it is obvious that NATO expansion does not have any relation with the modernization of the alliance itself or with ensuring security in Europe. On the contrary, it represents a serious provocation that reduces the level of mutual trust. And we have the right to ask, against whom is this expansion intended? And what happened to the assurance of our Western partners made after the dissolution of the Warsaw Pact? Where are those declarations today? No one even remembers them. But I will allow myself to remind this audience what was said. I would like to quote the speech of General Secretary Mr. Werner of Brussels on May 17, 1990. He said at the time, quote, the fact that we are not ready to place a NATO army outside of German territory gives the Soviet Union a firm security guarantee. Where are these guarantees? And do you know what the answer was? The answer was, yes, but that was guarantees given to the Soviet Union. And you're Russia. Well, what kind of a reaction would you expect? Last year, I think it was. Making a foreign policy speech, Putin said, our mistake was that we trusted you too much. And your mistake was that you tried to take advantage of that.
The West did not take Russia's warning seriously.